What's up, team? Ryan here. Hope you are amazing. Today we're tuning in to talk about the follow-up process and how to close more deals in the back end, because we all know that the fortune, or hope you know, the fortune is in the follow-up. And there's a couple of specific things that we can put in place to get people responding to you. So if you are currently feeling the frustration of people not responding in the inbox, okay, or reading your messages and not coming back, or people that were once hungry in your pipeline but now don't seem so keen, we're going to chat about that today. And we want to get your pipeline engaged. We want to get people responding and closing deals on the back end. There is a workbook for today, and if you do want it, we're going to be talking about what we call the fast follow-up formula. Just type formula into the chat and our team will get that over to you. It's all yours. It'll help you with today's conversation. So when it comes to following up, we know that the fortune's in the follow-up. We know that 80% of sales come from the 5th to 8th follow-up. And if you are in the coaching space and you're watching this video, firstly, you're in the right place. Secondly, the opportunity is immense, right? The opportunity is immense in terms of if you just up your follow-up game by 1 or 2 more touch points, you're going to be ahead of your competition by miles. Okay, so when it comes to the follow-up, there are a few things we want to talk about to make it effective so that, one, your community is engaged, pipeline is responding, and you're closing deals. Where you may be going wrong is having the right follow-up for the right person in the follow-up. Do you have a cold follow-up, a warm follow-up, and a hot follow-up? Okay, so those are 3 things that the workbook will help you with. If you want that, just type formula into the comments. But when we're talking about the type of follow-up that we want to use with our prospects, I was going to say clients, you also need a follow-up system for your clients as well. One of our amazing clients, Pete, he talks about it in the 2 Ps. He talks about peeping and poking your clients, but that's a whole nother conversation. Get your clients taking responsibility for the thing that they joined you for. Back to the prospects. There are 3 things that you want to factor in when coming to following up effectively to close more deals. The first is this, that you need to be timely with your follow-up, okay? Absolute critical word that you want to write down, tattoo it on your face or somewhere, maybe the person next to you, is the word recency, okay? Recency. It is critical that you are absolutely timely with the follow-up game that you imply or implement inside your business. That doesn't mean staying up all night waiting for someone to respond and then responding, at 2 a.m. But it does mean that you've got a consistent routine when you get to the office, open up the laptop, pick up the phone, whatever your routine looks like, that you are able to connect with the active, the new leads, and the people that need to hear from you. Okay, so recency is the first one. The ability for you to respond at a quicker rate will allow you to pick up those prospects so that they don't fall through the cracks. The second is having a routine. Now, when we talk about routine, when it comes to follow-up and your pipeline, there are sort of 4 simple stages that you want to factor in. And it's really the simple stuff, okay? But most people think that business should be just this whiz-bang, crazy, exciting thing, but it's really boring. And it's the boring stuff that gets the results. Okay, so if you want a 4-step simple process for following up, if you open up your DMs and they are chaos of a morning, the first is active conversations, right? You need to respond to active conversations first. This is not your auntie, your neighbor, clients, etc. First is active prospects, people that have popped to the top of inbox overnight, okay, after waking up, wherever you are in the world, especially if you've got international clients, or your clients just hang online way too much, which is true, okay? They're online more than you know. The second is new leads, okay? So people who have come in to the pipeline overnight in regards to raising hands on posts inside your group, responding to emails, okay, or on your profile, showing interest in something inside your business. That's the second person that you want to respond to, okay? We want to reward, as my friend Carrie says, the speedy, not the needy. So the people that are showing interest, we want to get back to them second. So active first, they're at the top of your inbox. The second is the new leads. And the third is people now that you have to follow up with, that maybe you've had a conversation with, you've popped a calendar in the date, 30 days time, 60 days time, 90 days time, whenever they've told you, hey, check back in on this time, or I'm just completing this, or finishing up with this coach, or finishing up building a program, running an event. Third is the people that you have scheduled a date to follow up with, okay? And it's important that if you set a date and say that you're going to hit them back in that time, that you do it, okay? Because word is bond in this industry. And the fourth and final piece in the stage is unengaged people on your list. Okay, so people that maybe have dropped to the bottom of the pipeline, maybe it's been 3-6 months, maybe they're active and lurking inside your group, but not quite in an email or a DM just yet. Then you go on the front foot with the outreach to find out, hey, can we open a conversation to see how or if we can help you as well. Okay, so they're the 4 stages in the routine. All of this is documented in the workbook. If you want that just drop formula, we'll shoot that over to you. It's all there for you. So recency first, routine second, and the third thing is knowing what stage they are in the pipeline and what follow-up to use. So you've got cold follow-ups, warm follow-ups, and hot follow-ups. Okay, so an example of these would be if somebody is cold in your pipeline and maybe it has been 6 months since you last had a conversation with them, but the conversation is there. You may want to just simply re-engage that conversation by checking in with that person. Hey, how have you been? Update me over the last 6 months. We've been working on a lot, getting a ton of results for our clients. Love to see if I could offer some help. Okay, simple. Remember, they've gone cold, once had a conversation, now need re-engaging. That is one way out of about 5 that we teach that you can simply do that. A warmer prospect, maybe the conversation has been active and then for whatever reason, they're now reading the message and not responding. Simple little bump, okay? And you may have had this happen to you as well. Maybe I've sent this to you. But it's simply saying, hey, just bumping this back to the top of your inbox. Life is busy, all right? All these people out here are whizzing around to do all this crazy stuff. There's like a helicopter, I don't know if you can hear that in the air. And how often do we read a message and not respond to it? Not on purpose, but by accident. If you are finding your prospects are not responding on purpose, then you got to change the whole game. But for the most part, they're probably, the kids have spilt something, okay, someone's knocked on the door, a telemarketer's called them, and they've just missed the message midway. Okay, so simple, warm message to follow up with them is, hey, just bumping this to the top of your inbox. That's one of about 5 that we use. The follow-up for a hot prospect, someone that said, I'm actually interested in what you're doing, or maybe you've hopped off the phone with them and it didn't close on the phone, maybe it didn't close, or maybe they wanted to do a bit more research on you. Maybe they said, hey, I actually do need some time to organize some finance, speak to the partner, whatever the case is. Okay, so hot follow-up with them would just be simply asking them, hey, loved our conversation. What would be an absolute, what would make this a no-brainer decision for us to work together? Okay, so that's one of the hot prospect follow-ups that we use. Okay, so just to recap, and if you want the workbook, just drop formula in, we'll send all this over to you. First is recency. What speed and cadence are you getting back to your pipeline? 2 is routine. Making sure that when you open that inbox, you're not distracted by best friend, neighbor, client, and the rest. It's addressing your prospect and pipeline list first. And then 3rd is knowing what stage the follow-up is in. Is it cold, warm, or hot? Cool. So if you want the workbook, drop formula. And the fortune's in the follow-up. It really is. And if you're giving up before the 5th to 8th touch point, you're leaving a huge opportunity on the table. You're leaving loads of clients unanswered for, money on the table, and there's a few tweaks you can do there to have a huge uptick in your business this month. So hopefully this has been helpful. Drop formula if you want the workbook. We'll get that to you. Have a fantastic day wherever you are. I'm going to have a coffee and look forward to speaking soon. Ciao, team.